So the most fiery interview of this year. We have just begun the year and we already have it. Anurag Kashyap's interview with Vishal Menon. It's been talked about everywhere. It already has 500,000 views. And the title says, I am disgusted by the Hindi film industry. Got so many requests to check it out. So finally, I'm here. Now there are timestamps available for the interview and there are some places talking about Rifle Club and I have not seen it. So I don't, want to get spoiled. So I'll skip some portions, but the main meat topics we'll definitely check out and talk about it. But if you haven't seen the original video, I'll put the link in the description. You can check it out on the Film Companion. Not Film Companion. The Hollywood Reporter India channel. There's a reaction to it, not a substitute. I'll be pausing in the middle, talking a lot. I'm really happy for Vishal Menon. He was recently on the main channel talking about Tamil films, and now one of his interviews has gone, you can say, viral. So let's hear what Anurag Kashyap had to say, which he hasn't said before. Now he's becoming more of an actor and shifting to South and working more in Malayalam films and Tamil films. Let's hear him out. And by the way, the channel membership is live. If you like the content, if you want to support the channel, you can become a member. Get to watch some videos early and some member-only videos. So to know more, click on the join button and let's go.
So congrats on the things that I'm hearing about Rifle Club. It's doing very well in Kerala.
I've been looking at social media. I've been listening. I haven't seen the film yet.
Yeah. And the same, I hear that Maharaj is doing very well in China.
That's true.
Yes, I've heard that as well.
Yeah. So, but let me start with this because this is the context. Everybody knows about your, 55 films in IFFI and the films that changed your life and all that. But can you remember the first major South Indian film, like a life-altering South Indian film that you watched?
For me, the first life-altering South Indian film I saw was in the sense consciously. Otherwise, we did see all the dubbed version of Rajnikant and whatever movies, or say Chiranjeevi or Venkatesh. Because that was, or remade Pratibandh.
Yeah.
Like I remember watching Rajnikant's Foladi Mukka and all those things of remakes. So Rajnikant was like a big surprise when it came, Jeet Hamari came.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, I loved the way he was. So all those things were there, but consciously the South Indian film that I saw was strangely Upendra's.
Oh, really?
It was A.
Oh, I've been asked so many times over the years, but never got to it. Maybe it's time to get into Upendra movies.
Oh, do you remember who suggested that movie?
Ram Gopal Verma.
He had told you to watch it.
Of
Ram
course.
Gopal Verma suggested to watch A and Om.
Or those
Oh, was
posters.
excellent.
Yeah. And because of which I also went all the way to Mangalore to spend some time on the sets when he was shooting Upendra.
Yeah.
I just very quietly went there and so on.
And it's just so surprising because last week I was preparing to interview Upendra and my question was, did Satya influence Om?
No.
It's a year later.
Yeah. No.
But this is not the answer I was expecting. I was expecting you to say something from Adu.
Ram Gopal Verma was the one who suggested to me to watch Om and A. A surprised Ramu very much and he suggested to watch A. He showed me actually A and Om. And then after which, by myself, I discovered Setu.
Which you
That's how.
wrote, right?
Yeah, Tere Naam, right?
About Bala.
There's a very famous story about this movie that he wanted, like he was actually going to direct, if I'm not wrong. He wrote the script for Tere Naam, the adaptation in Hindi for Setu, and then he asked Salman Khan to have hair on his chest, and again Anurag Kashyap directing a Salman movie, right? He wanted more realism, and he was like, "What? Get out!" And he was out of the film. I don't think he even got credit. I think he got credit for writing, but yeah, it was it didn't work out.
And then, other than that, I'm saying this is the film that I know consciously. I saw a film in its original language without subtitles. All these films I've seen without subtitles.
Wow.
And you got it.
What?
Yeah, I understood it. I felt it.
He had the Pushpa. Pushpa also first one I understood without subtitles, but not everything. Yeah. But I think if a good film is well made, even without subtitles, you will kind of understand what's going on. Not exact things, but yeah.
Then Selva Raghavan's first film with Dhanush.
Yeah.
I saw it without subtitles because I was mixing Panch in
Okay.
Chennai. So I went to see this film everybody was talking about.
Correct. Okay.
Where he plays the student and
Okay. Second film. Second, correct. Yeah.
Whatever. So and Setu also, they also came around.
Yeah, 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, similar time.
Yeah.
I was mixing Panch in Chennai,
Okay.
and they that time there's also.
Yeah, but sir, I'll just tell you one thing. Correct. Yeah.
So that time.
Yeah, but sir, I'll just tell you one thing. I was talking to a friend of mine who watched Rifle Club first day for show, and the second you came on screen, this is a small theater in Kerala, like just outside Cochin, and the second you come on screen, people started to clap and whistle. And this is technically your first film in Malayalam.
I myself have been surprised by.
But I would say, like, I've been to Kerala Film like IFFK, Indian Film Festival of Kerala or International Film Festival of Kerala. Yeah, I've been there to Trivandrum, and I saw a whale movie in the one of the theaters, and it was packed. It was packed, and the actor's name come. Everyone was cheering, clapping, as if it's a mass movement. The actor's first appearance on screen, cheering. The movie ends, cheering like crazy. Like there, even an art movie would get the same cheering as a mass film. Like that's how epic and people love cinema there.
Love and respect, and like I got in Kerala when I went for IFFK.
Yeah.
I was very overwhelmed by it because I did not expect that people in Kerala have seen all my films. Because my films have never released in Kerala.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My films have never released in
Telegram or torrent.
Kerala. So I was very overwhelmed because they have gone, looked for it, downloaded it somehow, somewhere, but they have seen all my films. So that for me was very surprising and very overwhelming because I've not seen that kind of a response anywhere else in the country.
Not even in Bombay?
No, not at all. Not at all. Definitely not in the Hindi belt. Like if you go to my state, UP or Bihar, no.
Your brother's a superstar there.
My brother is a superstar there.
His brother made the first Dabang movie.
And Gangs of Wasseypur over a period of time has become a star. But they know me as an actor there. Nobody knows me as a director in North India.
But what I want to ask you about...
I wonder, if he said no, but if he ever does a Gangs 3 or something related to Gangs universe or something like that, that's a trend nowadays. Knowing him, he would never do. But just hypothetically, if he does, I wonder if that film will also go 300-400 crores because of all the cult status the films had over the time. Like people will definitely go and watch those films. It doesn't matter what's going on. So I wonder if that will happen for him. But yeah, again, I don't know. He said it before. He'll never do it.
I think you, in many interviews, you used the word discerning to kind of explain the Tamil and the Malayali audience. Apart from, but the process of creating a discerning audience, is that very cinema related? Isn't it very systemic? Doesn't that have to come from outside?
No, I think it's very organic also. Plus, the idea of so many cinema clubs, or I don't know, it was traveling cinema that penetrated the villages in Kerala, small towns, because there's a filmmaker in Kerala called Fellini.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
His brother is Godard, who's not a filmmaker.
I know.
So I asked him once, like,
how did you get your name?
This is my father named us because he used to see these films.
Wow.
I said, how? It's just in our village. They used to show
That's
people.
Yeah.
So this discerning audience has been long in the making. And it all happens. Like, how suddenly cinema was being made from Trivandrum. It started in Kochi, somewhere in 2000s, right?
Yeah, after they shifted from Madras.
And suddenly Kochi has formed its own filmmakers base who are creating a totally new voice. But these are massive cinephiles of modern cinema. I'm saying you can see the influences in the films. But they take those influences and localize it so much.
Yep.
It creates altogether a very different language.
I agree totally. That it's The groundedness, it's not like there have been films which I have seen people love, and they say it's so good, it depicts the culture so well and everything, or certain place in Kerala, but the film's story wise didn't connect with me that well. But I think the films that do connect story wise also, right? But the setting is also so important, and so merged together with the storyline that it just feels like you have been to this place, this place. Like I was saying of Kumbalangi Nights, like that, traveling from boats, the houses are so separated with water. Like you just feel like you've been there in that 2.5 hour film. You have been to this place. That's how real and the films use the location so well. Most of those.
Hmm.
They like like Lijo's long shot in Angamali Diary, end of
Yeah.
Angamali Diary, or they're using those sequences. They're using local dance sequences, but the approach is very Kusturika types.
Correct. Okay.
Elements like that. So for me, it's just amazing. It's just, and filmmakers do influence each other. There is like, for example, Rifle Club. I don't know. I mean, this is when I heard the story.
Oh, move
So
on,
Rifle
move
Club,
on.
I remember like Manjumal Boys came out.
Okay,
And
let's
I
go.
know the director because he used to be assistant to Rajiv Ravi.
Yeah.
And
Chidambaram.
I met him once long back. But taking that one survival story and that one shot that still blows my mind. When
Yeah.
the boy jumps into the river.
Yeah.
And we cut.
Sriram Bhasi falls.
Tunnel. Yeah.
My hair stood up. That for me was cinematic moment
Yep.
of the year.
Yep.
So those kind of elements.
Like I remember when that cut happens, right? I was in awe of what I'm watching. This is something extraordinary, like I don't know how to break it down. Like, oh, it's just the character falls. Like they had to show him how he fell. Like that's a good quality moment to show. But the way it happens, the build up, the setting, the editing, how we from the childhood portion we are cutting it to that moment, and we don't see it when he falls. He just like everything is normal, and he just it's like it has an airy feeling that something is gonna go wrong, and then he just goes. There's no slow motion there, nothing. We don't relive it again. It just suddenly, like as if it happened, naturally around us. We don't have replay happening, right? It just happened, and we never cut to there what's happening. Like to this is the construct, the art form, the way of telling the same thing, using the craft, using the filmmaking. I think that's what makes it special.
Is what these young Malayali filmmakers are doing. They don't care about the rest of pan India films. They don't care about how many crores, what crores, this crores, that crores. They're not in
That's
that
true.
business at all. They have their own very healthy competition with each other within that whole Kochi film space to create newer and newer ideas, pushing more boundaries. Let's see what we can do with this.
Is it also because they have to, because the budgets are so less and they have to
Not just
experiment?
budgets are less. No, nobody has to do anything. They want to do.
That's true.
See, the difference is like, the problem with Hindi cinema is we think we have to create the next big blockbuster.
That's true.
In Malayalam cinema, no, they're not doing it because they have to. They're doing it because they want to.
I think the best way is that Manchmal Boys is, as I said, I always right. Became such a highest grossing Malayalam film ever. But that was never the point. I don't think any point they thought that we are making this film because it will go 200 crores or it will travel everywhere or this or that. Nothing. I don't think like even an inch or a second of thought like that came into their mind making that film. It was always about telling the story, getting these actors together. It'll be cool, let's do something different. Let's do a survival thriller. Let's not have unnecessary flashbacks or like just create a great film. That's always the motive. Okay, of course they would have in their mind, okay, we're spending 20 crores just to create the set of the cave and this and that. We just hope it recovers that money. Maybe they just thought 30-40 crores would be great. They would have never thought that they are making 200 crore film. That's the point. That the reason behind the film should be because you want to tell this story, not because you want to make so much money or blockbusters or 1,000 crore films and this and that.
And they help each other.
That's true.
I
Actually, what he's saying is, I don't want to plug this in like shamelessly, but I made a video, 5 reasons why Malayalam cinema, is so great and why the films work so well. Everything I made on the main channel. I'll link it somewhere. You can check it out if you haven't. But yeah, I mentioned the same kind of things there also.
my biggest takeaway when I went to shoot Rifle Club was because I had just seen that film that was shot in Sri Lanka with Roshan and the
Paradise.
I'd just seen Paradise, and I'm seeing Darshana doing a small character there. And I know Darshana because Roshan wasn't choked and
Yeah.
Yeah.
they work together a lot. And then I see Surabhi Lakshmi, who has won a national award just a few years back.
Yeah.
Huh?
Correct. Yeah. 3 or 4 years.
Dilish, I know for me, Dilish Bothan goes back to Lijo.
Okay.
I was introduced to him by Lijo.
Okay.
I think Imayu.
Yeah. Yeah. Around that time. Yeah.
Correct? Yeah. And so all these actors coming together, and there's so much camaraderie. There's nobody like who's the hero, who's the villain, who's what, who's doing anything.
Just having fun that we are coming together and do something special. That's it. Nobody cares about how much role they have, who will be the front person in the like. If you see the posters also, it's just crowd people. It's like it's crowded. It's a ensemble cast. There's no one person.
I saw there are 3 rooms.
In that house.
No, not in that house. Outside the location,
Okay.
where the actors' resting area.
This I've heard before.
There are no lines of vanity vans, nothing like that. They thought I was coming from Bombay, so they got a small van for me.
Especially for you.
I hated it. So I would rather spend time with them. Because this beautiful camaraderie that they have, there's no one-upmanship.
Yeah.
There was zero one-upmanship
Ego.
amongst the actors. Everybody is pushing each other and non-stop having fun, focused on food, conversation. I'm saying they were just so much fun.
I think this is interesting to hear from him, right? Because he has worked so much into Bollywood or Hindi film industry, and he knows the ins and outs, and he has been so critical about it. And like you can say, he's never got his space or his footing in the industry because the kind of films he makes, that's not given importance. And then he's getting to work in Tamil and Malayalam, and he's seeing those differences one firsthand. We have heard from actors who have worked and went to Bollywood or like, but the actor perspective is kind of different. They are treated very well. They are given right if they have a status. Definitely, there have been cases where they are not treated that well. But if they're a hero or co-lead or something like that, they're treated well. They're given importance. Then they always in the interviews they'll never say it was bad. Right? They say it's fun and everything is same, this and that. But I think from his perspective, you'll really get the honest answer.
And then plus there were filmmakers, Natesh, Senna, who I've known for so long. Hanuman Khan we just discovered. I did not even know who he was.
Yeah, same.
Suraj. And rapper. This much before he broke out.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And he was shooting, and what a cool boy. Cool boy. And he was like, I've just come for the shoot. And the other son is the producer for Hanuman Khan, Parimal.
Correct, yeah.
And it is discovering so many people and the way of working, which I tried to imbibe the moment I came back from there in our shoot. Because this is how we used to shoot at a time. When we were shooting Gangs for Wasipur. This is how we were. There was no, there was one.
There's a whole making available on YouTube. Like, I think that's how you get. I think it's everyone coming together for a story, for a vision, and just being together as a kind of family, or it's like, I think, well, I don't know, man. Maybe because you have a big star and you need to give them vanity vans. I don't think that's wrong. They need to have their space if it's an intense shoot or something like that. The more budget, more money is involved, the bigger stars. They cannot just be, hanging out in a town. There'll be so much crowd, security reasons. Not everything is possible. I'm guessing Fahad, is become such a big star that he needs to have those things, maybe. I don't know. I'm just, thinking like, I'm not sure about it, but yeah. Maybe it's not possible for everyone, but at least, yeah, the camaraderie that when you're on set, yeah, everyone's here for fun. Everyone here is for, for the same goal. It's no one has their, individual thinking what they are here for.
Resting van for everybody. Otherwise, people would put chairs outside and rest.
Yeah.
And that's what got lost. And instead of focusing on making the film,
Yeah.
we started focusing on being treated like a star somewhere in Hindi. And that happened, I think, with the advent of streaming platforms.
Okay.
The streaming platforms came in and they wanted to make a presence felt. And probably they brought in their whole American way of working.
Yeah.
So now, here what is wrong is everybody expects to be treated like a star. Otherwise, they'd feel disrespected. Half the problem with this industry is they feel disrespected. If they are not welcomed or
If you don't massage the ego, it's disrespect.
ushered in
Yeah.
or escorted,
Correct. Yeah.
or they're not given their things. Nobody makes films.
But don't you think this is cyclical, sir? Because
It is cyclical.
Yeah, because in the 2000s, the same directors, including Ashik Kapoor, they've spoken about your influence, and we were all very envious of the kind of films Hindi was making in the 2000s.
They have all told me that, how,
Yeah.
the early work of mine,
Yeah.
especially Devdi and Black Friday and Gulal kind of a thing, would impact them, right? Today I seek inspiration from them because here, and I envy them because they can do it, because they're still working that way. Here I'm restricted by the unnecessary. The same film, say for example, if I just go back 6 years, the cost I made Mukkabaz in today, I'll have to spend 5 times the money in 6 years
For the same movie.
for the same movie to make it exactly the same way.
And it's not salary related, or it is salary.
It is related to everything, all the paraphernalia and everything else. It's not about the making of the film. So that's the massive difference.
Mukkabaz, I think, was made at 2.5 crores, if I'm not wrong. That's also a very fascinating story behind the film. You should definitely check it out.
That's why I envy them, because now it's difficult for me to go out and experiment, because now it comes at a cost, which makes my producer start thinking about profit. He's like, where's my margin? Like, I'm losing money. This, that.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't make this movie. You don't want to make this movie, don't make this movie. But I just cannot. Because right from the beginning, before the film starts, it becomes about how do we sell it, how do we sell it, how do we sell it, how do we sell it. So the joy of filmmaking is sucked out. That's why I want to move out. And literally next year, I'm moving out of Bombay.
You can come to the south.
I'm going to South. I'm literally going to South.
Excellent.
I'm literally going to South. I'm because I want to go where there is stimulation. See, otherwise I'll die out as an old man. Like, I'm so disappointed by my own industry, and not just disappointed, disgusted by the mindset that's here. Literally, I wrote when I saw Manjumal Boys. If you go on my letterbox, it's written, a script like this would never be made in Hindi. But when the film will become a hit, definitely one Hindi filmmaker, producer will say,
Remake rights.
Let's remake it, right? Next day, filmmaker called me. You know the filmmaker, can we get the remake rights? So this is the mindset here. Let's just remake what's already worked.
Wow. So the thing is, talk about Hindi film industry and disappointed moving out. I think I saw Anmol TRP's post on Twitter about this, that he's leaving, he should stay and change instead of just complaining and this and that. I'm like honestly, he tried. He has been trying. He made films, and not all his films are perfect. Recent films have not clicked that well, but his films are, I think, pending and still not released. His film Kennedy 3 years back was going to film festivals, still not out. So he's doing everything, but he's not getting anything. Like he's not responsible to change the whole industry, right? He can only change first himself. And if he's not getting opportunity at all, he's not getting inspiration, he's not feeling well being there, better move out. Better go to a place where there's a respect for the kind of things he does, and he gets motivation, he gets inspired by those people, he gets a good place as in a company, with a company of people who he talked to more about making films and telling stories than just about money. And as he said, he got a call like, oh my god, whoever's thinking to remake that, don't.
But they don't understand anything, and they will not try anything new which doesn't have a reference point.
Yep.
And I deal with it all the time, and it's so disgusting. It's so disgusting also dealing with some of the stars. Some of them are beautiful. Some of the stars who have, and literally I'm talking about people who have seen failures and who have seen their failure from earlier generation. They're the ones easier to deal with. They understand. But the first generation or very entitled ones, they are painful. Nobody wants to act. They all want to be stars. So that becomes very difficult. And when they all want to be stars, the agency also wants to create this. Agency will not create anyone.
Yeah.
The moment everybody will become a star, they want to make money off them.
Make him an influencer.
So they will not create
Yeah.
anyone. So the owners of creating or
Something like parasites. Like, I understand why they exist also, but yeah, it's like their only thing is to look at their self-interest and their star self-interest, and the star wants to take care of himself, but no one cares about the what is making them star at all.
finding a new one is on to you, for which you have to take a risk, fight with 50 people, takes time, takes forever. When the film is made, suddenly they come, they grab him and they turn them into a star and say, this is what you need to become a star. And they psychologically brainwash them totally. And then those guys, and they'll dump them because the next one will come along.
Yeah.
Next one will come along.
Yeah.
They don't allow them to grow. One person suddenly blows up, they'll grab them, make money of them, and will not say go to workshop, work on your acting skills.
Go to gym and
Yeah, they will send them to gym. They'll get the makeup man. They have to all look glam, because they all have to be part of these massive things. They have to become massive stars. And whereas counter to that in Rifle Club, everybody is playing a small part. It's an ensemble.
Yep.
Couldn't Rifle Club be made in Hindi?
You can't do it in Hindi except with all the actors whose careers are over or
Absolute strangers.
absolute newcomers. They will not do a role that's like I am an actor and you are an actor. I will not play a role secondary to, and you will not play a role secondary to me. How dare? And there's a one-upmanship. I have to have the last word, kind of a thing. Yeah, they read dialogues. The thing, dialogues is acting. But I deal with actors who
I know what films and actors is talking about because it's very obvious. Some films, it's very obvious. They're just reading dialogues. They don't even mean what they're saying. Like, such a big disconnect, right? Like, how is he? This is even a film, and this is acting, and this is an actor doing like.
literally say that, no, but how am I supposed to feel? Like I'm saying, a lot of it comes in acting. It's not on paper. They don't know the process. And they're so protected by the agencies. So agencies become the wall between the actor and the filmmaker. How does a filmmaker make a film? And agencies tell the filmmakers. I've had a recent example of one of my actors who disappeared from my own life because the agencies told them. Then the agencies dumped the person. Now that person has come around saying, I need career advice. Everything is going wrong. So I'm like, this is what the agency does to you. They just make money off you. There's not a single agency that I know that is invested in building careers or finding new people and building them up. Unlike what happens in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hollywood, when there's independent cinema, everybody comes down. Na? Otherwise, how would, say, a movie like, what was that? Or Wes Anderson would make a movie. Or say, for example,
Coen Brothers, whoever.
That Greek filmmaker, the kind of pretty things. Lathimos.
Lathimos, yeah.
Lathimos.
Yeah.
I mean, how will they make films? they would never be able to make movies. And Bollywood, definitely they cannot make movies. There's nobody who's willing to go down a limb. I've had, like, recently I made a film. My actors, who I thought were my friends, because they feel scared to say no, because they want to be a certain way, they ghost you.
Yeah.
But that happens everywhere. But mostly here. It doesn't happen in Malayalam. And that's why the film cinema is exciting.
Yeah.
That's why everything is so exciting. And वहाँ पे literally, I know, Rifle Club, the day it was announced, because I produced a short film with Reema Kalinga and
Yeah, I've seen it.
Just him talking about, like, I think recently one more interview I was watching with Directors Roundtable, and they were talking about how when they're shooting a scene, the actors PR team is standing and they have a separate monitor for them to see what's happening, and they'll be like, cut, and then they look at the actor and say, no, but change the hair, he's not looking nice, or just say the line differently, it's not coming nice, you're not looking nice in the frame. And the director is looking at it and like, okay, one more take, and an actor will do it the way PR team wants him to. Oh, don't say that line, that will may not work well with that audience, we don't want your image to be. Dude, you're acting, why is the PR team there? Like, as he's saying, either they have brainwash or they have no sense of themselves. Like, you're here to act in a film according to the director's needs, not what PR team wants you to do. And that, yeah, I think the downfall is inevitable, right? Like, it will happen.
Yeah.
So I produced a short film with Vijeta directed, right? So obviously I follow her, and I follow Ashik, and Ashik put out an announcement of next movie, Rifle Club, and I commented on it. Do you need an actor from Bombay? That's why I was cast in the film.
Oh my god!
I got a call, says, seriously.
And you had no idea what it was about at that time.
I had no
Nothing,
clue.
just the poster.
Just the poster.
Did they recast someone for you?
No.
No.
I don't know. They would know better. No, but they were not. They said, seriously. So then I think Sham and everybody went back to the table to rewrite the character for me, because otherwise it would have been probably full Malayali, or made him more Mangalorean, this, that, and everything. Whatever happened, I reached out and I want to do this because it's just.
I need to start commenting on Instagram.
The poster seemed so exciting.
Yeah.
And I know I've seen Ashik's 3 movies earlier.
Yeah. 22 FK. Yeah.
So that's how it happened.
So, but don't you think the reverse is happening? Like, as amazing as it sounds that you want to make Malayalam movies, or or you understand the industry, but don't you think Hindi movies pretty much become like a South Indian industry? Because even if you look at last year, the 2 biggest hits are South directors. Even this year,
because they're still connected with their audience. No, Ramuji said something. Ramgopal Verma said something in the sense, whatever people think of Ramgopal Verma, I think he's having fun. He's having the most fun. But he said something. He said the reason why South filmmakers connect to the audience is because most of them are not gone to university.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're very connected to the roots. So that is both good and bad. So they can make blockbusters. They'll make blockbusters. But the evolution of cinema also needs to happen, which is happening in Malayalam.
Malayalam, correct, yeah.
Which is happening in Malayalam. Blockbusters are happening here. But evolution is happening in Malayalam. There's some strange kind of a evolution, which is a very strange coming together of commerce and art. And because their films are cost effective. So all these new experiments are turning out into very successful blockbusters.
Because the budget is so less, like as I said, Punjabal Boys, like they just recovered their money that would have been it for it, but they just made 5-6 times the budget. Every, like Robancham, I think was made at 5 crore budget and they made 100 crores. So it's just that the story is so big. That's budget and the scale you need. The story needs to be so big, so relatable, avesham. I'm sure the budget would be less, like 20, 25, 30, whatever. But they made across 200. Like Adu Jeevitam, you can say it's an expensive film, but still not as expensive as, a Bollywood film, like how far they go. where it's not required. That's the problem, right? Like a film should have been at 50 or 30 or 40 crores, and you made it at 200 crores. It will never make the money. That's bullshit.
You take the same filmmaker and you take the same film and let him make it in Hindi, it'll cost you 5 to 6 times.
Wow.
It'll cost you 5 to 6 times, because that's where this whole nexus comes in. A producer will come in, they will be wanting stars. For the stars will come in agency will make a project. Everything happens. You go to streamers also, the agencies reach out to them and say that, let us set this up for you. They want to be co-producers. They're not just representing actors, they want to be co-producers. They make projects. They say this actor and this actress,
Assembling.
and this, that, and everything. And then they wonder why things are going wrong.
So, but why didn't this, at least maybe 4 or 5 years ago, when we used to talk about the OTTs coming in, there was a lot of hope, right?
There was a lot of hope and excitement.
Yeah.
But now the same people, it's like now what has happened is, who are the people running the OTT? People from television, they have no cinema experience. People from television have gone into OTT now. There's zero cinema experience. They don't understand cinema. And they're
It's so brutal. like everything he says cannot be taken, like that's what's happening. Everything is right, he's saying. Of course, it's his side of experience he's sharing. And it's really wrong to generalize the whole industry like that. Of course, there are people who are doing some really good stuff, who are actually trying to be different and this and that. Like you have to take it with a grain of salt. It's his opinion, his viewpoint, and how he has seen and experienced it.
they've been told they only need to get. What is their primary motive for the streamers? Streamers' primary
subscriptions.
motive is not to create cinema.
To
It's to
increase
get
subscribers,
subscribers. It's to increase subscriber base. And to increase subscriber base, they have to dumb it down. Plus, at the same time, since the top streamers are multinationals, they're not Indian origin companies, right? So they're answerable. So they're scared to take a risk that will offend someone. So every which way, it's like it's a leash.
Yeah.
I think it was when it came, right, streaming, and you could do anything on streaming, this and that. Suddenly, everyone was like, "Oh, Anurag Kashyap will make whatever he wants, and it'll be freedom, and you can do whatever you want." But then that also kind of changed. That bubble broke, that it cannot actually, and then censorship came in there also. Like still, I think the laws were taken back, but they sell censorship already, and anyone can put up a case. Anyone can get offended. So whatever it's happening with cinema, also same thing goes with. In cinema, you have to file a censor board. Here, you have to, there'll be cases in FIRs. So what can you do?
Creativity. So they would, if I have to make a film that's taking a leap of faith, then I have to make it, release it theatrically. Only then the OTT will take it. So that they are not in the dock. They can very easily say, it was
a hit
released in
movie.
theater and we have acquired it. So I understand their fear also, because at the end of the day, it's not like earlier producers like Gulshan Rai who take a chance on a Yash Chopra and make a Kala Patthar or like, Trishul or Diwar or whatever. Today, there are people doing a job with very high salary, which gives them a lifestyle which they don't want to lose. So nobody is a creator there. So very few people that I have met, that I'm working with, very few, that I feel like I can have a conversation with, which is creative. That's why I would rather not do anything. I don't need it. I would rather not do anything than sit down and talk to somebody who's only trying to save their job or impose their position than having a creative discussion. I would rather have a creative discussion with my peers, with filmmakers I admire, or with people who I seek advice from or give opinions to.
But didn't you create an ecosystem? Didn't you already create that?
I did create an ecosystem, but that ecosystem got disrupted. I have that personally. I have that
Phantom Films, if you don't know, I think 4 filmmakers came together to make a own studio, and then during Me Too, it all fell apart.
ecosystem. But I have that ecosystem of creative people. My ecosystem of producers is gone. See, because end of the day, all the producers, OTTs have disrupted the system. So first they came in and they gave such high prices, right?
Yeah.
And now they've lowered the price.
Yeah.
So when they gave the high prices, everybody went up.
Nobody wants to
From
come
the
down.
agencies,
Stars.
from the stars, they demand.
Everyone started to make a lot of money, and now that's a lot of money not coming in. Everyone's like, how is this possible? We need that money.
Everything went up. Now they've lowered the prices. Now nobody wants to come down. They don't know how to deal with it, which is good because one day everybody will fall. And I'm waiting for the day when everybody will fall because then it will be a great time to make films again. Because after we hit rock bottom, it will be a great time to make films again.
Wow.
So I have to say golden times are coming. Because golden shit looks the same color. So golden times will come after the shit times come.
But don't you think that at least with the in this era in 2024, is it impossible for someone like Anurag Kashyap to have emerged out of Hindi?
I have made 5 films that are lying unreleased.
Wow.
After achieving everything already.
Yes.
Wow.
Where is Kennedy?
Yeah.
And whose hands is Kennedy in? It's in the hands of some people who have never made films before. People who made Kennedy in the studio are all gone. And now the people there, what is their directive? What is the directive given to them? It's profits.
Yeah.
Up the share market value. Cost recovery. That's all there is. Nobody believes in a film. Nobody even wants to be interested in a film or watching a film. It doesn't matter it went to Cannes. It doesn't matter it had such a massive reception at all the at Mummy, and they've seen the reception in India. I'm talking forget outside reception. They've seen the reception of the film in India and how people have reacted to it. But
Who has the rights?
No, but
So basically, he worked with a studio, and there were different people heading the studio, and then they made the film, and now the people left, and new people have come, and for them, it's just about profit, and that's why they are not releasing the film.
I understand you have the point if at least they're able to make the money spinners. But even that's not happening, right?
no, that's not happening. That won't happen. They don't understand anything. They can't even make a Pushpa. They cannot. Because they don't have the brains to make a film. They don't
He's unhinged, man. He's brutal.
understand what filmmaking is. I'm saying a Pushpa is made by a Sukumar. And if you go down south, they invest in a filmmaker and empower them to make a film. One of the bestest minds who backs filmmakers is Suresh Babu, Rana's father.
Yeah.
He has empowered so many young first-time filmmakers and things, and he talks so much sense. But I don't know why people in Hindi don't listen to him. And he's also, it's not like that he's just some random person. And he's talking commerce. He's not talking art. But he can see. He has a vision. Here, everybody's trying to repeat a formula. They think one thing works. Everybody's trying to create one universe. I don't understand. I'm saying, do you understand your own universe you live in? How minuscule you are? Everybody's trying to create a universe. So, you know what? That's what I'm saying is the ego of when you create a universe, you think since you're creating the universe, you're God.
Yeah.
And that's the arrogance. That's the arrogance of my character in Rifle Club, Dayanand Barek.
Hey.
And
No
every
spoilers.
arrogance deserves the same what happens to my
It's no
Very
spoilers.
interesting is where is this like the audience that you're talking about? Where is this gone? I mean, because if you look
Because
at
that audience was ignored.
and they've moved on to other movies.
I'm saying our audience was ignored, and it was ignored collectively. Right? I'm saying, for example, I found out in COVID. So I'll just take an example of a film, say Mukkabaz
Yeah.
or a Gangs of Wasseypur.
Okay.
Two films which have a very now core audience in North India.
Yeah.
They were not released in North India.
Wow.
I found out during COVID when there was a distribution meeting that my North Indian films were not released in North India. Why? Because the studio decided my core audience is in Bombay and Delhi and Chandigarh and Hyderabad. That's it. That's how dumb they are. They decided, and literally a theater owner from Bihar said, I was begging Eros, please give me Mukkabaz. They said, we have to spend money to create one more,
Wow.
to create a DCP or whatever it is. It costs. He said, it's not worth the cost for us, for that market.
Strange. Yeah.
Yes. So what happened is we have ignored
And that same market, they made Pushpa what it is today. Just wow.
that whole Hindi belt audience. We make Hindi cinema and we ignore the Hindi belt. And the advantage of which was taken by this man who created this whole YouTube channel, Goldmine.
Yeah.
Goldmine? It's called
Yeah,
Goldmine?
Goldmine, yeah.
Goldmine. They started picking up films from South at cheap rates, dub them, do that, and started catering to that Hindi audience. We ignored our own audience.
Made a whole
They
business out of
started-
it.
That Goldmine guy was the smartest, is probably the smartest man there. He started catering to that audience, and that audience got built so much that Pushpa's trailer was launched in Patna.
Patna. Yeah.
They know the
Yep.
Telugu actors.
Even Bahubali probably benefited from that. Yeah.
Everyone, because they know them. They know Rocky Bhai.
Yeah. Hey, it's got 1.1 billion views.
Yes.
1.1 billion.
Yeah. So that's the audience we have ignored. And there are hardly any cinemas in UP, Bihar, Jharkhand. There are hardly any cinemas, MP. There are hardly any audience. There are theaters. So that audience doesn't care.
But traditionally, whose market was that? Didn't all these?
That market used to be for Amitabh Bachchan, Govinda, till one point,
Salman.
Salman, whatever.
Then it all became about multiplexes. The big, where you can sell more popcorn, where you can make more money and make films there, you'll get more money. Like, again, that it became about making money, right? And that's the problem. Making money is not wrong. You spend money to make it back, but that it cannot be the sole focus. And if you were actually smart, as he's saying, you'd actually been smarter and thought like long term, you would actually cater to that market also. What Pushpa did, right? Pushpa would not be where it is today, 1,000 crores, if not for that market. I think 60% of the money they've earned is from the north, that circuit, UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, all that North Indian part. 60% of 1,000 crore. I don't, now they made 1,500, but just say 1,000. 60% of 1,000 is 600 crores. A Telugu movie made that in Hindi, and 3-2 overall India just made 600. So, like, that tells you.
There's a lot of that. And plus, there were films that were working. Smaller films used to reach there. Ardh Satya I've seen in growing up in Lucknow. But now somebody decides that it's not worth, because now it's corporate, no? Why should we take that chance? Because I remember Jalwa never released in my city. Because somebody decided Nasiruddin Shah is an art house actor.
Art house, huh?
So they limited Jalwa to the cities. It never came to that part of the world. So it became a very high in demand, because the song Dekho Dekho Ye Hai Jalwa had become such rage. It was a very high in demand VHS. So
I think we always forget that for movies, it's not just about, and that's what happens. Like for me, near like Goa is not like a top city or a metro city kind of a thing, right? So it's more of a tourist, known for tourism and all of that. So theaters are also not very comparatively, theaters are very less here, and that serves the audiences. But again, you don't get every releases, right? Every release doesn't come here, and that tells you that so many people in the country, it's not that they don't want to watch films, they don't have options to watch films. They don't have enough theaters near them, the servicing the kind of films they want to watch. So they are home, they are on your mobile, everyone has a mobile, OTT, YouTube, free they're getting. Why would they come? When they'll come, because when Pushpa comes to their city and release the trailer.
saw it on VHS. So some person sits there and decides ये यहाँ नहीं work करेगा, ये वहाँ नहीं work करेगा. And that's the trade. It's the whole nature, because the entire trade survives on prediction. And the prediction is not based on their understanding of script of films. The prediction is based on the understanding of fan base of a particular star. So if you go beyond the star system and the fan base, that whole prediction and trade game will become redundant. And they don't want to become irrelevant, so they're holding on to it. And which is where a lot of films benefit. In Kerala, every film has an equal chance.
Yeah.
Because the fan base there is still of Mammootty and Mohanlal, the old.
Yeah.
But the whole newer lot can surprise you, and their audience is also very fresh and new.
Yeah. They're not expecting
Because
stardom.
it being a small state, every film spreads out everywhere. And the most amazing thing I've seen in Kerala is like people can travel 3 kilometers or 3 hours to watch a film to another city if it's not released in their city. Because it's just, that's how they travel across and watch a film and catch a film.
Wow.
Plus, I think the stars also
And I find it difficult to travel 40, 80 kilometers to watch a film. That's
act in multiple movies. They don't have to, like, it's not one movie a year, so
Yeah.
it's not the biggest risk that they're
I'm saying
taking.
one of your biggest stars is Mammootty. Look at the films he's doing.
Yeah.
yep.
How many Hindi film actors will do those kind of experiments? How many? So that's why it's very exciting to see what's happening in Kerala. The Malayalam films. It's so exciting to see what's happening in Malayalam films.
Can you tell me about the other part? Like when you got into Malayalam cinema, when you started watching Malayalam cinema, was it?
Malayalam cinema, a lot of it, barring, say, the films of John Abraham,
Yeah.
a lot of it, I think I started watching after associating with Rajiv Ravi.
Yeah.
Because Rajiv Ravi and me, when we started working together, and first funniest stories that I heard was a lot of Priyan's films were all remakes of Kerala
Malayalam.
films.
You didn't know
films.
that?
I didn't know that.
Same. Same
I
here.
didn't know that. I didn't know. I used to love Gardish.
Gardish, yeah.
Then Rajiv Ravi used to look at, have you seen Kiridam? I said, what is Kiridam? He says, Gardish is not Priyan's film. It's a remake of Kiridam.
Kiridam, yeah.
Then I saw Kiridam. So, for me, there's a lot of surprise and shocks and discoveries. And then I realized the entire thing, Ramaji Rao speaking,
Yeah, Ramji Rao speaking, Hera Fairy.
everything. And I said, oh,
But do you remember him bringing some of his Malayalam cinema techniques or like ideas into the films that you guys made together?
no, Rajiv.
Yeah.
I don't think Rajiv was influenced by Malayalam cinema techniques from definitely Arvindan or
Yeah.
John Abraham. But more than that, Rajiv believes in there's nothing that can't. He never said no for anything. And he'll find ways to do it. Like a Gangs of Wasseypur was a mix of everything. It was shot on DSLR, it was shot on digital, it was shot on films, it was shot on... Let's just shoot. It's my job to make it seem cohesive. He would experiment with newest, lightest of cameras where the minimal of light is required. When he was shooting Muthon, he would... I walked into Aramnagar in an office and Rajiv is doing something behind a car in the night with a small little something. I said, what are you doing? Shh, shooting. I said, it's a shot of Muthon he's taking right here. With a small camera, doing something. So that's Rajiv Ravi for you. He would just go out and he will come here, whatever money he would make, go to Malayalam and make his film. So he's least interested in a lifestyle, money, nothing. He would just take from here, whatever he would get extra, he would go make a film. In between, he did some 2-3 big films because he had to finish his own big film, which cost money. So he's that way. That's why he's so respected there. Because I remember I was shooting that whole sequence of Rifle Club where my son's birthday. And Rajiv found out I was in Kochi and he just came in. The entire set stopped. There's a dead silence. Rajiv Ravi has come. Everybody stood up. The shooting stopped. The work stopped. So I was like, this is the respect this man commands. Everybody stopped, and he knew that if he'll be there, the work will stop. So he left. He left after that. Immediately, he just came, gave me a hug. He said, let's meet later, and he left. The work, I have not seen that impact of a person who's got commands so much respect. I've seen that happen only when Mr. Bachchan would walk in or Dilip Saab would walk in.
Yeah. What happens to you, sir, when this is what happens, or this is what you start to believe about the industry?
And I think sometimes, a lot of people say you're too old. A lot of people have told me on my face, you're too old. Things have changed. So then I shut up.
But what were the issues compared to the issues now? Do you remember what you were dealing with 10 or 15 years ago?
10 or 15 years ago, I was only dealing with, my ideas were too new for an industry. That was my only struggle. To have people buy into my idea. Today is so many other things. Then I could have just taken a camera and an actor and gone on the street and make a film. Today I cannot do that. I cannot do that. I can't make a Black Friday film. I cannot even make a Wasipur, forget Black Friday.
I don't think if he had, even he made Black Friday, that itself is a big deal. Forget doing it today. That time only, if we made something like that, crazy.
After a long time, I feel like I've done something that I'm very proud of.
But what was it like, at least in terms of, let's say, percentage-wise, let's say 50% was the creative process and 50% was dealing with all this?
That time the producers were invested in making films. I'm saying Panch never released. But Tutu Sharma was a producer who believed in me making that film. However risky that film was for its time. So he did not get into it. He did not force me. Or when I was making Black Friday, my producer had my back. They're not telling me how to make a film, how to make it saleable, how to do this, how to do that. They had my back.
Totally supporting throughout.
For example, even Gangs of Wasipur, Dev D, I never had anyone visiting me on my set trying to tell me how to make a film, trying to get into the post, trying to tell me how to do music, because this will sell, that will not sell. And today, producers come using examples of those very films and become a nightmare.
They wanted to repeat that.
No, they say, you made cult films like Black Friday, you made Devti, you made Gulal, you made Gangs of Wasipur, and you're so good, and now let's make a film together and all that. And they are a nightmare because they will come and tell you, this is how you should do it. This should not be, this is going over budget, this is going there. They themselves are a nightmare. They want that, but they are not a producer like that.
Yeah.
Those films were not made because I just made them on my own. I made them because somebody had my back. You need a producer to have your back, to allow you to.
It's about the support, right? Like, it's not fully like just give him freedom and money and that's what you want. I don't think that's the case. Like, just don't tell him what to do. It's not that. You have to let him do it and just support him that he doesn't fall short. Have his back and help him out whatever he in way you can have trust him. Don't come and ask him how much money, budget is going overboard. No, I get this actor. Like, stop giving solutions which he doesn't want. I think that's what you want. Like, let him make his thing and just be in for it. Like, don't doubt yourself and doubt him and I need to tell him what to do and how to make a film that makes money. Again, it's about money.
Be you. Today's producers are a nightmare.
So if it's so difficult for you, it's probably 100 times tougher for a first-time director.
Oh. Unless you have a big star who believes in an idea, then they don't care.
Then they don't interview.
Then they don't. Then they're like, it depends. Everything is here. So I'm saying, if you look at it, a director is a version of being a pimp.
Oh my God.
You get paid based on who's in it. You get paid based on how much it sells for. You get freedom based on that. You get freedom based on how's your equation with the star is or everything else is. So it all depends there. So what you bring to the table is the star.
It was never this bad.
Yeah, I have made films with new people. I've made films with this, that. I've had problems. It's not like that I have not had problems. But I have had.
I wonder the actor he was talking about who used to work with him and then left, and now he's come back. Is it Nawazuddin, like, who has just, I don't know what he's doing, what he's up to, what movies he's doing. Like, I don't remember last time I saw him in a film. Like, it's lost.
Creatively, I've had the kind of freedom, except the one big studio film that I did. That's why I realized, that's why I went away from this big studio film system to make my independent films.
Bombay
But now
Velvet.
times are so insecure now. You're again dealing with individual who are very insecure because films are not working. And films are not working precisely because we have forgotten the films we used to make for which audience. Now we are repeating and we are desperate to create a hit. And we are desperate to cash on the order. Every film is 2 or 3 or 4 of some successful film. People are taking 20-year-old
There are 18 sequels right now in production in Bollywood.
film and remaking it. Or making a sequel of it. 20-year-old successful film. That's how desperate the atmosphere right now is. I'm talking about right now.
But how do you think this will change, sir? Is it
No,
because-
everything changes. Everything changes. You think Malayalam cinema was so good in 2005?
Of course not.
Yeah.
There was a bad period, no?
Yeah.
8-9 years,
Yeah.
or 10 years, longer than that maybe. Every cinema, Tamil cinema had a longer bad period. So you have to go through a bad period. These are the dark times for cinema, for Hindi cinema. We'll go through shit to find gold. I'm telling you, this is what I.
And that has to happen, right? Like, it's too big to fail. People need entertainment, and people who are not up to the mark don't change. They will go out, right? They'll die out, and new people will come. They'll make successful films, and a new trend will start. Youngsters today who are thinking of getting into films, they are looking at what is so bad. It's so bad. You have to do something better, and they'll come up with the ideology and thought process which is about making film, not about money. And that cycle, then they'll again 50, 60 years later, the same thing will happen again.
Saying we have to go to rock bottom. We'll go through shit to find gold. Everybody's bloated heads and egos will have to
Die.
blast. Remember Mars Attacks, the movie? The aliens.
Yeah.
The way their heads used to blast with the songs.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to happen to everybody here.
What is the
The
reference?
whole idea and the sense of self and the sense of bigness and largeness is going to just get humbled. We'll humble down. All of us will humble down.
Then in one of your recent interviews, you mentioned something very interesting about this fatigue that you were feeling as a viewer. Not just the films, not just Indian films, but then you're not able to watch anything.
Yeah. That has a lot to do with my own mental health that I dealt with post-COVID.
But don't you think it's happening with everyone? Because if you look at
There's too much,
yeah.
Yeah.
There's too much to watch. I'm saying it's like, say, for example, I go out, I meet Motwani, he says, you should see The Bear, man. He was so moved by The Bear. I turn back to my partner and like, have you seen Shogun?
Shogun, huh?
Somebody says, have you seen this? I'm like, how do I watch
Oh
all
my
of it?
God.
Yeah.
That's
How do you
relatable.
watch so much? Every week there is something dropping. Every week there is so much to watch. What's that young American guy who does all these interviews and stand up? This young South African, and what's his name?
Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah.
Yeah.
I was watching something very interesting on Trevor Noah thing. So Trevor Noah was asking this guy that, tell me a life secret or something. And he said, there's a very successful shoe seller. He was so successful. There's no shoe seller on the street who was so successful. So he went and asked, he says, what's the secret? You're selling the same shoe as the other one, but why do you sell more? He says, it's called the choice of two or something. I don't know, something like that. What he meant was, I'll explain it to you. I don't know the exact words. But he said, if somebody walks into my shop, say, I want to try a shoe. We say, which one? So that one. I'll give the shoe. I says, can I see that one? Just sure. Gives them the shoe. Says, can I see a third one? She says, okay, I'll show you the third one. But out of these two, which one should I put back?
Keep back, yeah.
Which one should I keep back? So he says, when there's a choice of three, he's seen in my experience, when there's a choice of 3 or 4, people don't buy any shoe.
Yep. Oh my God, this is so relatable. I hate window shopping. Okay, I hate window shopping. You want to buy something, go to the shop, buy it, and come back. Like, why wasting time? And this I've experienced very recently. Like, I went to a shop, I liked something, but no, let's check out some other shops also. Then we went to the shop. We went to 10 more shops, and now there were so many options. Like, I didn't buy. I don't care. I liked something before. I wanted to buy that, but no. Now there's so much I've seen. I cannot go through it again. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to not watch. I don't want to buy anything. I didn't buy anything. That is so true. That's what's happening with so much stuff coming out. Every weekend there's 10 films. There are 3 TV shows. Like, it's so much piling up that unless it's something extraordinary, like that's something. Even Squid Games, I didn't see. I didn't see the Hira Mandi shows. Like this, I just didn't feel like watching it. Like, there's so much going on.
But when there's a choice just of 2,
Yeah.
you definitely buy one. And that made so much sense.
Yeah.
We have so much choice and you're watching nothing. Because
Also, the barrier of entry has changed, right? Like, now you have so many platforms. Forget movies and streaming now, even on YouTube. Like, there's so much Instagram, like so much you can spend your time on instead of just watching one movie or one show. Like, there's so many options, and everyone has an option to do something. Like, that's why there's so much content. Before, it was very expensive. Only few people would reach that place to really do something. But yeah, now it's just insane.
skimming through it, we spend 45 to 50 minutes thinking what
Yeah.
to watch, then we get tired and sleep. And so we end up watching reels.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
end
what
up
do you
watching
think?
something
Yeah.
that is the shortest.
Yeah.
We don't really invest. So it's like those tiny things, no?
But how did you get over that? Because I think a lot of people.
I watch films and I will watch everything. I realize one thing: time is not running out. I'm not in the race of, have you seen it? No, I haven't seen it.
But it's also FOMO, right?
It's lots of FOMO.
Yeah.
They play on FOMO.
Yeah.
I'm literally like, I haven't seen it. I'll see everything at my own time. I have access to all the films. I have my own library. I will watch films, series. If I've heard too much about something and I believe that it might be lost, I'll go and buy the Blu-ray of Shogun and keep it at home. I'll watch it when I have to. I saw Wire, I think 10 years after it came out. I saw Sopranos just 5 years back.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm saying time is not running out. There's nothing running out. We have a lot of time to do a lot of things.
But at least, are you not able to watch obsessively like you used to?
No, I watch.
Even now?
Yeah, I saw The Order yesterday by Justin Kutzel. Before that, I saw Complete Unknown. Before that, I saw Nona. It's not like that I don't watch. I watch, but I watch at my own pace, at my own time. I don't have to. I'm not part of, I have to see it now. And then I want to sleep. I want to focus on my health. And I think next year I'm not going to make a film. I'm just going to relax and rejuvenate, watch films. This year was for making films.
Yeah.
And lots of acting. I had to get my daughter married. For an indie filmmaker to do that kind of a wedding.
You need to become an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now my daughter's married.
I saw some pictures of the wedding. Yeah, it was quite extravagant.
I'm more calm. And I will now feed my soul. There's a lot of corporate greed always destroys art and culture. There's a lot of corporate greed that has set in. And now, and corporate is a monster that can't be put back in a box. Once it is out of the box, once there's an investment that has come in, an investment comes in from a financier. It's
They
a
call the
monster.
shots.
It's a monster. No, they don't call the shots. They want to see it grow. So what happens is when they see the process of growth is when you plant a tree, it takes a long time from a sapling for it to become a tree. Corporate is that thing that they think that I have put in the seed and tomorrow it will become a tree.
Yep.
They're not going to wait for it for 10 years to become a tree or 15 years for it to become a tree.
But what do you think happens to the directors? Because so many of them come and they achieve success, and after 3 or 4 films, then they kind of fade away, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying it is the various kinds of directors. The directors who create their own things and the directors who get success unexpectedly, by chance. They were not expecting it. So the directors who create their own thing and when it becomes successful, they make it a template. They make it a formula and they keep repeating themselves. That's why after 2-3 films they disappear. I'm saying all the massive blockbuster filmmakers.
They just last 10 years or something, yeah.
No, barring few. Some of them are the original ones. I'm saying like Shankar might go away for a film or two, but still keeps bouncing back. Mani Ratnam also keeps bouncing back. Like, that's the old school. Today is very driven by social media. Filmmakers from pre-social media time and post-social media time, the way of looking at things is very different. So I was reading yesterday, I think Game Changer was launched in Dallas, right? And I was reading this statement by Shankar sir saying today's audience span has become very short. They watch reels, this, that. So we have kept that in mind while doing Game Changer.
Oh my
I
God.
don't know what that means.
I think we know what that means. It's very clear from the trailer.
We'll know when we see the film.
Yeah, no pauses, maybe no silence.
Yeah. That's also like, and a lot of filmmakers are talking in terms of this language.
Yeah.
Like, my film is just like reels put together. Because that's what audience wants to watch. So
The moment, someone says that this is what the audience want to, see, this is what they want, don't listen to that person, turn your back and walk away. No one knows what the audience themselves don't know what they want to see.
Filmmakers who at one time for me were chefs, like, the creating things, are becoming caterers.
Wow. Nice
The
way to put.
moment you start thinking in terms of what audience wants to watch,
What you want to
that's
see.
where the decline begins. Because you're trying to really guess. Audience is not an organism, one organ person. It's a massive sea of people. So I'm saying for everything as an audience. So I still go by the old dictum of what filmmakers used to say, audience will see what we put on screen.
Yeah.
With conviction. And with passion and with love. What we put on screen, audience will see that. That's how you create a new thing. If you're trying to guess what audience wants to watch, then you are literally destroying yourself. You're limiting yourself. That's what happens, I think. With success, what happens? And success is the worst teacher that can happen, because when you get that success, now you want to only repeat. You want it again. And when you don't get it, you get more desperate. You wanted more than that. And when you get suddenly success that was unprecedented and you did not expect it, then you're confused.
Do you watch Or We Imagine?
Me, I want to watch it without interval. See, I hate watching films with
I saw it at a film festival, so no interval.
these half-an-hour intervals in cinemas here. So I like to watch films on my own screen and I will see the film on my own screen without any interval, without any pause. I want to see it the way Payal Kapadia.
You've seen her previous films, right?
I've seen. I love her film. The last message in this sense, her last message was also, are you going to really watch it with the interval? She herself said that.
She asked. Yeah.
So I'm not going to watch it with an interval.
Do you think that should have been the movie that we sent for Oscars?
Oh my
Yes,
God.
I think so. Because if you want to win the Oscar, I love Lapta Ladies as much. And I love what Payal Kapadia said. What a beautiful answer she gave when she was asked the same question. He says, we have so many films, 3 films this year out there running the same race, and all 3 of them are women. She said this, I think, at Gotham or somewhere, which was beautiful.
Nice.
But she's a very secure person. Yes, if we wanted to win an Oscar, we should have said All We Imagine Is Light. But for that, I will not say that Lapta Ladies was a bad film. But yeah, for Oscars, we should have said All We Imagine Is Light if you wanted to win that. Like I said, it happened with Lunchbox. It has happened with RRR. It has happened many times. But that's us and our understanding of things.
That very well depicts, what's wrong with how we treat cinema in our country.
Finally, I think you've been making movies for maybe 20 years now, more than 20 years.
More than 20. I have 25 years now.
But then I think we've started noticing your name for maybe 25 years, maybe 4-5 years before
15
that.
years.
Of course
I started 32 years back.
Wow.
But people, literally I'm telling you, people know me from probably Dev D. 2009.
But that's non-cinephiles, right? Non-cinephiles, yeah.
Cinephiles also know me from 2005, Black Friday onwards. Black Friday, pirated Black Friday onwards.
Pirate.
19 years. 19 years cinephiles, so whatever they know of is that. It doesn't matter. How does it matter?
No, but I want to know what you think about your mythology, because
I think it's all mythology. It's all mythology. I was just a filmmaker. When I was young, I was a filmmaker trying to prove a point against a system which was very star-driven. I was trying to prove a point that we need to make a film. We don't need to depend on stars and this and that and everything. We need an intention. We need a beautiful team with a vision, and we can go out and make a film that will matter, right? And I was very, very anti the way structure works. It's like very Hollywood structure. It's like very, all that kind of a thing. Even that's where it's broken down. It will break down eventually. And something else will emerge out of it. It always will happen. We create stars, it's the same reason we create gods, like sports stars, film stars, gods. We create because we need to create to find some kind of an aspiration or
That's deep.
fulfill the void inside us. So I don't have a void like that. My void is only my daughter Gahan. So there is no other void in you. But it's like that thing is what I was trying to prove a point. I was trying to create a community. I was trying to keep people together. And then I gave up. I'm like, it's not my job to keep people together. It's my fantasy. It was my fantasy. I was fantasizing about this world of filmmakers. I was because I had read too many stories of Easy Rider's Raging Bull. I read the story of how, these filmmaking communities and Sundance and the story of all that. So it was my fantasy based on that, the United Art.
He will, lead a revolution and change Indian cinema. And
So my fantasy was based on what I had read. We need to create a United Artist. We need to create this. We need to create that. A Phantom was supposed to be that, a director's company. Then the investment came in from Reliance. And the moment investment starts coming in, everything goes for a toss. So it was my fantasy. It was my fantasy based on something that I read, but that also broke. Even Heaven's Gate
Yeah.
ended United Artists. How long did United Artists last? 10 years?
Yeah, 10 years. Yeah.
How long did any of those things last? 10 years? So my fantasy also lasted 6, 7 years. So I lived my fantasy. I have lived my fantasy. It's over. It's broken. I'm happy alone.
So,
it
but
was
then
my
when you
fantasy.
meet someone who's come from, a small place or something, they moved to Bombay and they made
No,
that
it's
film.
not. See, it's what
Then a
it's
dog
a story
story.
that people tell themselves to. Sometimes they tell the story to their parents so that they can use that as an excuse. Sometimes they tell themselves to give themselves hope.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't do any of those things for that. I did whatever I did for myself. I'm telling you, when I was living a fantasy, first I was trying to prove a point, then I was living a fantasy, nothing. Now I'm trying to be peaceful. I'm now trying to withdraw and do I'll only now do what I enjoy doing. I'll make a film that I'll enjoy making. I will act when I love and enjoy working with that director, with those people, that atmosphere. I'll not do anything under pressure anymore. I'll not do anything under pressure. And
I think it's kind of he's reached a state. I think which every one of us like that. Not closure, but kind of that this is very clear path. This is what I want now. I've done all the things I could in my prime of my age, and the challenge the world and this and that, and now I'm just don't care. I just want to be happy internally, peace. And I think there's a point in life everyone will reach that point where there's a point in youth and young. When you're young, you just want to push it and struggle. You have to run and everything, like all those things. And then there's a time come and you're like, okay, this is not worth it. I don't care. I just want now happiness and peace. I think that's easily where he has reached, and I think that's why he's moving away.
I can detach myself to anything. So I'm not going to do anything under pressure. I'm not going to play any game. I'm not going to do anything. I'll step away. I don't let I never wanted the limelight. I was given too much limelight. I was given, I think, undue credit. I have been given undue credit. Well, Wikipedia is Mythopedia. So I've been given too much undue credit. I've been given too much attention, too much limelight for all the wrong reasons. So for me, it's time to be a vampire. It's time to be the shadow.
And this is not the learnings of a defeated man, I hope.
No, I'm not a defeated man. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed and disgusted. I feel like I cannot change the world. So the world will stay the way it is. Right? I have to live in that world and do my own thing. So I have to find my way to do my own thing. But I will do it on my terms and conditions in my way. I'll not do it any other way. Whatever may come, I will leave, I will walk out, I will quit. But everything has to be the way I want to do it when I'm making a film. With my people, in my world.
I hope we can see that next year.
I hope so. I'm just looking. It's like I'm doing things and I'm happy. I'm happy with what I've done, and let's see what happens. Good, bad, success, failure, all mine.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for being so open.
Thank you so much.
That was quite interview and quite deep at the end. I think he has been a figure of controversies and this and that, and like everything that goes behind, and he has been very vocal also on social media with in terms of politics also. I think that also has led to things, but I think controversy is a good term. I think now he's just leaving all that behind, and I think that's what he said. Like, you want to fight, like you want to make films, challenging films, change the landscape, and he even got credit for that. He made films which, like, earlier films were like so much talked about, and now what he has made recent films, we I don't even know which is last film he made. Yeah, so I think that Mohabbat is something like that he made. I think, which came out. I think that's makes sense why he feels what he feels. He's done. He's done with the industry. He thought he'll come, he'll change, he'll bring a wave, and like that's what he studied about cinema, in other industries, and he thought he'll also able to do it, but that didn't happen. And finally, I came to mix to films tell stories, and that's what I want to focus on. If it cannot happen in Bollywood, I'll move to somewhere else. And we just got the I think what he said is quite what we have been hearing a lot of times from different sources. The change has to happen. It's not that the industry will die, it will keep going, but only people who are getting it right, who understand, who change, only they will survive, others will go down. That's the process, that's the cycle which always continue. But a lovely interview. Congrats to Charles Menon. I think it just flowed. I don't think he planned it to be like this, but the way it just flowed, and I think Rakesh also wanted to talk about things, and he just, I think, felt comfortable doing it. So a great interview, great video. Let me know your thoughts about all this in the comments below, and you can check out this video next, and I will see you next time.